People will tell me what they're going through, and it's not that hard to do it. In fact, they tell people all the time what they're going through. Are you on Facebook? It's right there on the wall. But if you ask them if they're okay, that's where everybody's drawing the line. That's where they say, I'm fine, I'm just tired. We're not talking about our feelings. And if you ask anybody how they're dealing with it, they're not. They're just distracted. They're doing anything they can not to think about how they feel. But if you're holding back your feelings, you're holding back half of the truth. And what you're really doing is you're holding back hope from yourself and from everybody else. Not to mention, if you're not telling the full truth, that part of you is living in a lie. It has to be, right? Because you're not actually fine. And who wants to be fine, right? That's not even good or bad. It's just, who wants to be that? And you're putting your identity in that? That's who you are? I'm fine? That's who you are. That's putting your identity, a piece of you, in something that's untrue. Somebody walks up to you and you're clearly not okay, and they say, are you okay? And you say, I'm fine. You are now, by definition, a liar. You are not who you say you are. And then lies multiply. We know that, right? So then you're a different person around every group of people that you're around. I meet kids all the time and I see them looking at me and I'm like, is that the real you? Or is this school you? And they'll be real with me. They're like, this is school me for sure. Because they're a different person around their parents. They're a different person in public than they are alone. They're a different person on social media than they are in real life. Like, what version of you is here today? And do you know the true you? A lot of people don't. They truly don't. They've told the lie for so long that they actually started to believe it. That's how powerful your brains are, ladies and gentlemen. You say something enough times, you're going to put your identity in part of that. You're going to think that's who you are. All the way to the point that you could call yourself the problem and think that you have to remove yourself because you're the problem. You're not the problem. Matter of fact, you would be the only solution to your problems. I could try to help you, but if you don't help yourself, you're still going to end up helpless. So actually, you are the only solution to your problems. You would have to change if you wanted something to change. So your identity shouldn't be in a problem, a disorder, a dysfunction. It never should be in any of those things. Your identity should be in the truth always. If it's not, then it's causing cognitive dissonance in your brain. That means that you're holding two or more contradictory beliefs at the same time. You don't know who you are anymore. That's a lot of stress on your brain. It has to keep up with all these public images and all these personas all the time and still try to remember the truth. It's going to start flushing your body with stress hormones. Cortisol levels go up. Norepinephrine, adrenaline is pumping through your body. You're going into fight or flight mode. You start to have panic attacks daily. So eventually your brain's going to get to the point where it's like, hey, look, get rid of the lies because they're doing us physical harm. Your brain will send you this thought: kill the lies. But what if you put your identity in one of the lies? That thought would come across to you as kill yourself. Your brain's trying as hard as it can to keep you alive. Sometimes we misinterpret the information. Sometimes it keeps reminding us of a certain person because we haven't forgiven them. Sometimes it keeps reminding you of a certain traumatic experience because you haven't healed from it yet. And we just try to bypass all of that and just go to sleep anyways. That's why people have insomnia at night, because that's finally when we stop distracting ourselves, we put our phones down, we close our eyes, and all hell is unleashed on our brains. It's like, remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this. You haven't healed. You haven't forgiven them. And I say forgiveness because that's the only way to detach negative emotions from a traumatic experience. Anytime you go through a traumatic experience, even remembering the traumatic experience re-traumatizes you. Your brain don't know the difference. And every single time, we just distract ourselves. We react the same way we've always reacted. We might point the finger, we might play the blame game, we might blame ourselves, tell ourselves that we deserved it. And let me tell you, justifying somebody else's wrongdoing takes away the need for forgiveness in the first place. I get having empathy, but it still happened. You still have to forgive them. It still happened to you. You have to forgive the people that hurt you and then forgive yourself for believing the lies that came out of the hurt. And the number one lie is that you deserved it. I meet kids that are in first, second, third grade that have blamed themselves for everything that happened with their parents. That was easier. They'll forgive everybody else, but they won't forgive themselves. Because that's hard. You would have to face your feelings and face your fears in order to do that. And that's scary and it hurts. But the truth hurts, ladies and gentlemen. We know that saying, right? The truth hurts because lies die when the truth is told. And if you've been living a lie for a really long time and put your identity in it, then when the truth is told, part of you has to go. Doesn't mean kill yourself. It means kill all of the parts of you that are untrue. I believe that's what dying to yourself means. Getting rid of the worldly part of you, the lies. That's not where your identity should be. Your identity is in the truth. And maybe the truth is something you don't want to face right now. Maybe the truth is that you're not okay. But you know the saying, it's okay to be not okay. You know why? Because you're not lying. It's okay to be not okay as long as you admit it. That's the truth. I believe vulnerability is the key that's going to set you free here today.